Hello and welcome back to part 4 of our series Fun with Fusion. In this episode we're going to have a look at skin replacement. Okay, here we are in our Fusion comp from where we finished off last time. What we'd like to do in this episode is replace the skin around the face and put something funky on it. Probably something a bit alien. We do have our image up here. We can have a look. Let's have a look at number 2. So that's just a small image that we will try and attach to the face. So we'll actually rename that so we can find it again. We'll call it reptile skin. Click OK. One of the things I did notice when I was looking over what I like to do is if we look at our jungle background in that one, there's quite a lot of background here that we're missing out on. So what I'd like to do is to add a transform onto there and then shrink our size down just a touch so we're in, so looks a bit more natural. We're using the whole of our image just rather than a bit poked in. The other thing I like to do quickly is just to blur the background ever so. You don't want it so that it's sharp, and you don't want the background to be sharp. You just take the edge off, probably about 0.5 up there. Okay, right, we're good to go. So we're just again bit of tidying up. Leave that background. Okay, so we're going to start with our footage. Let's bring that up to fit. That's our footage. This is our original footage. So play the 2. Again, make it a bit fair, make that fit. Okay, right, so what we would like to do is to track the face, take our reptile skin, and then post it back onto the face. Right, so we're going to use a surface tracker. Okay, a surface tracker, and looking at the footage, it is likely that I might make the contrast in that just a little bit more darker and contrasty, just to help the tracker. So I will add another color correction now, and I'm going to put it wrong before we put it right. So if we have a look at our output on there, and what I'm going to do again, like we did with the green screen, I'm going to turn the saturation up a bit, also the contrast, so we get a good strike between. I think this is where the actual dots can come in handy for us. We'll turn the saturation down just a little bit more. Contrast. And zoom in, have a look. I think it's a bit dark, so we'll a little bit of a lift. Okay, we'll see how we get on with that. See how we get on. Okay. Right, for this I'm now going to pump the output of our corrector into the surface tracker. And what we'll do, we will switch that over to number 2 so we can see. And I'm going to give us a little bit more space for what we need to do on this. and go to single screen. Let's see how we get on with that at the moment. Just see how we get on. Okay, so what we first of all got to do, we've got to draw a bounding box around it. So I want to click bound, delete. I'm already on one. Okay, so I'm going, where should we start? Start down the neck. I'm going to draw an outline around the skin. Now when I come to the face, I'm going to actually go outside of the skin. That's so that we can make sure that we've got it all covered with our skin overlay. Right. We're going to go under these. Round in there, just a slight turn. Again, just going to go round the outside skin. We can actually, don't like that, but I'm going to adjust them in a minute. On the clothing, I'm going to go as close to the edge as I can. Right. Okay. So what I can do now is adjust some of these, so I'm just going to go outside the ears at the moment. By going outside, as I said, you can make sure that you don't have any blank spaces on your skin, but to go on the outside of the jumper, it will obviously place the skin over the jumper, which we don't want. So, again, going outside the ears, that'll probably be okay. Okay, good. Now what we want to do is to add a hole. So we need to create a hole, and what we're going to do, we're going to go round the eye sockets, or really I suppose the lids, again as best as we can. Create another hole, do the same thing. I'm feeling this might be slightly too dark in here to track it, but as I said, we'll see. Okay, and we're going to place another hole to go around the mouth. I'm actually going to go back in now. I am going to brighten that up a little bit. Just there we go, just that touch. We can see the outsides of the eyes. Well, I think that's a bit dark, so just see the outsides where we want to go. Back onto there. Alt 2, just make sure that we're nice with the eyes. Oops. Undo. Alt 2. Alt 1. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Zoom back out, Control. Okay, so now we've got our box. We need to generate a mesh. There's two ways of generating it. Automatic or uniform grid. Now if we use an automatic one, we haven't got any details around the face. We've got where the eyes are and the mouth are and the edges. What I want to do is go into uniform grid. Now, zoom back in again, you can see we've got plenty of detail. Oh, gotta get a new mouse. There we go. Right, so we've got our mesh. We can change the spacing if we wanted to. I think as a default, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And so we'll see how we go. Right. Again, I did do, purely by accident actually, our hero frame is 20. And we had actually on frame 20, which is a good thing. Should have done that in the beginning. Should have set the frame, but luckily we were already on there. So we really need the generated mesh to be on our hero frame. The frame that's got the least amount of stretching and pulling and everything on it. So we decided in the first couple of episodes that was going to be the frame to have. So now we can track. So what we got is a forward and back button. And this is going to track, and then it's going to pause, and then it's going to look like that it's wrong, and then it should correct itself. So hopefully we'll see what happens. We'll track forward and reversed. There we go. So what it does first, it just has a quick look over at the texture. Takes a bit of while, and then then it moves all the points, and it seems to play it back then with just the mesh moving without the image moving. So I'm gonna let this go through just so you can see that that's what's supposed to happen. So I say while it's going along, we'll explain some of these other ones. These over here, if you've got something that's moving a lot or a little, this is how you think. So if you've got a lot of movement, you want to put it up. The same with rigidity, or however you pronounce that. It's for how much you want the mesh to flex. So the higher it is, the stiffer the flex becomes. For skin, that sort of things, it's pretty good on 0.5. If you want to go down to something that you want more liquidy, something like that, you really want to be lower down. So I'm just staring this because we're actually running it faster. That's not very good actually. So we'll see what it comes out like, because I might have to redo that. Let's have a quick look. You see, so it runs through and nothing happens. You think, oh God, that all went wrong. And then it will go back. There we go. So if we now look, you know, considering that was on faster, I'm fairly happy with that. Let's see what happens down here. Let me play it through. Let's play that again. What we got? Look, it's a blink. It doesn't quite keep up with on the eyes. Right, just play through the rest of that. Okay, all right. That's fairly good. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave it at that at the moment, and then we will readjust that as needed. I'm going to take my reptile skin and put that into the surface tracker there as the background. And it looks awful. Result. Right. Positive, normal. What we really want to do is put that to multiply. There we go. That's a bit better, okay? Already. What we can do, expand a little bit. Any trouble with... I might do that and then we can use it as a cutout later. What I'm doing is look in here, because if we hide our overlays, we expand. Just a touch. So everything's covered. Let's go through again. Yeah, okay. Fix that, fix that. We do need to fix this. So we'll do that in a minute. Add a bit of softness on there. Little bit of blurring on the motion. Bit of more softness. How much can we get away with? Again, I don't want it going really into the eyes. And what we haven't looked at down here, again, we might need to fix that. Let's have a look. Okay, good. Oh, see, it's okay there. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning, as we do, and we'll look to see what needs fixing first. Actually, let's make that look good. We'll add a bit of a color corrector on there. Yeah. It's a bit better, isn't it? That's saturation. Who's that? Let's have a look. I know we got the dots in the way. I may, depending on how we do for time, we may set an episode where we can actually get rid of them. For the moment, what we need to do is fix our problems here. So we can go back to results, put our meshes on, our bounds on. Actually, mesh. We'll start with the eyes. I might show you how to do one, or what I would do to one, and then maybe fix the others. Probably the easiest at the moment would be this skin. So actually what I'm going to do is just move the skin into the hair. Just moving it around. It does make it a little bit stretched. Okay, that's not so bad. Round. And obviously then unfortunately, we need to go through each frame and do it. So we go one frame on, and we go back. And just do a couple. if you need extra points, you can actually click on and it will add as you go along, but ideally you need to track the whole thing again if you do that. Okay. We're going to have to do the same with the eyes. Probably going to need just to tweak them all up a bit. Okay, what I'm going to do, because obviously we have to do the same, is I will probably pause the video here and I will go through each one, because obviously you don't want to sit here for the next hour or so doing that. I will sit here and I will poke you through there. Don't need to worry about these ones at the moment, he says confidently. Maybe just that. And these just to keep it over. And so we probably need to bring these down just to make it look a little bit better. Okay, so I will pause here, get yourself a cup of coffee or whatever. Something stronger. I'm gonna need it. Right, see you soon.
20 minutes later.
Right, okay. Back again. Right, so if you have a quick look, I've done the tracking, and if we play through, back and forth, scrub, we've got pretty good. Everything bends nice. If we looking around here in the creases, so everything moves quite nicely. Now we go to our mesh. As you can see, the eyes do follow quite well. Now, what I noticed as I started moving the points around, but what I actually did notice, if we go in our surface tracker and in our track, we actually did touch on the point that was set to faster. I actually set it to better, retracked it, and it came out quite right. Just had a little bit of a problem with the blink just before there. It's very fast, so I just had to redo the control points on that blink. Other than that, it came out quite well. Okay, so if we can just finish off this. What we really need to do is obviously get rid of this green. Let's zoom down a little bit. Yeah, we don't really want that green outline. What we can do is, on our merge, is add a mask. Now, there's a couple of different ways we could do it. We could rotoscope around it, build another one. The easiest way is if we actually go to our green screen footage, if I open up to panels, put our first one in there, there's our green screen. Let's fit both. So we've got the same, fit and fit. If we look at here, we've actually got an alpha channel already built in. So what we can do is use this footage, build it into the effects input. Oh, and there we go. So just take that off again. Green halo, put into the effects, gone. Almost gone. So let's have a quick look. Got a bit of an edging around here. Okay, so what we can do, let's have a quick look. The alpha channel looks good. Got a hair detail. What we can do, we can actually refine our alpha channel a little bit. So if I just click here, Shift Control, I'm going to do a matte control. I'm going to shift and hold that pin. Go. So what we can do is on a matte control, we can actually try. Let's just try expanding and contracting. Yeah, that'll do. Bit of blur. Now zoom out of it again. Okay. Yeah, if we use blur, we actually lose the detail up on the top of our hair, which we don't want to do. Expand and contract. That's working not too bad. But again, if you watch the hair detail, let's put this into us. So that's what we're looking at. We do the expand contract. So we are losing some of the hair detail if we do that. Change it, put that back. Change our threshold. That's actually pretty good as well. But again, we're losing our detail on the hair. So if we actually, I'm going to do everything on there just to emphasize that I get things in the right place. I'm going to get an ellipse. I'm going to put that, where do we need it? Across the ears. Across there. And if I now feed that into the mask input, like that. So the adjustments we make on the matte control will only affect the bits inside the ellipse. So let's get that up a bit. I'm going to reset all. Let's reset the right one. Let's go back and just do that. Pull that down a bit. About there. Yeah. And then if we go to the matte control and reset that, let's do a bit of an expansion, a contraction, blur it, blur ever so slightly. Probably about right. And I'm also going to take the fringe. Nope, I'm going to take the threshold up. What about there? Just checking. I'm going to make sure we got our threshold right. Okay, but right. Turn our ellipse back on. Let's play through. Okay, just let it go all the way through. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. But, I say, we do have a few issues. If you'd look, what we really should have done is during the green screening, we should have had a bit of feathering on our mask. But for what we're doing at the moment, what to do is if you want to build one of yourself, I would make sure you do more time, make sure you haven't got a nice solid edge, more of a little bit of a feather, and that would look good on that. Right, so let's tidy that up a bit, put that there, put our ellipse in, let's rename that so we know what that is. Halo mask, so we can track that if we need to track it, pull everything down. Okay, so we've now replaced the skin. In the next episode, what we'll do is we'll have a look at colouring the eyes, put it through, and see how it goes.